Welcome to Friday night's video in our Master Series. This is the 8th video in our Master Series, and tonight we're going to talk about sound envelopes and mapping them out. This is a huge thing for you to get to the next level. I mean, I'm telling you, this will be one of the key factors of you going to the next level or not. So first of all, when we're talking about this, whenever we're analyzing any audio, we want a high and low pass filter it to cut out any unneeded content. That means when you high and low pass filter, you bring it in until it's causing detrimental issues with the audio and causing a problem, and then back off on the lower and the upper end. And sometimes you can adjust the slope that you're using and things like that. You can get more slope sometimes, less at other times. But you want to high-low pass and filter the audio to cut out any unneeded content, so you don't have any unneeded content that you're trying to listen to or visualize while you're working. Second thing is we're getting into mapping audio. Really quickly, we'll get into the oscilloscope a little bit, but you also want to take pictures on the oscilloscope, meaning here is a waveform. This is a vocal that I've captured going ah, and here is where the cycle starts. You can see this little bump here and here and here, and the cycle starts there, goes down, goes up, does that little whoop-de-doo, goes down, goes up, back that little thing. Then it starts over again. That's a cycle on an oscilloscope. In the timeline, it kind of shows that. And you want to get some pictures of that also, of some good stuff you've worked on. Vocal, a bass note, a good guitar note, a piano note, whatever instruments, drums, bass drum, you know, toms, snares, crash cymbals, all the basic things you're working for. Get some good pictures of those so you can go back and reference that, so that later on that you can go back and look at those in reference to things that you're working on. Sometimes the oscilloscope working in music, unless you really know what you're doing with audio engineering, is what you'll see when we look at the oscilloscope. A lot of people will go to the spectrometer and the oscilloscope. They'll go look for issues through a normal cycle, that there might be problems in the cycle, like this one for some reason is boosted way up here, you know, when it isn't normally, and things like that, and levels throughout the cycle that can cause problem, because basically you're going to convert that to an FFT transform, fast Fourier transform, to be able to visualize what's going on inside there. But it certainly doesn't help to have those, and have those, some pictures of them that are mapped out of their levels, so that you can, you know, use them as reference. But when we get into this is a huge concept. When I talked about that calculations link on my channel, that it'll take you to a calculations network, and on one of them there's where you find your harmonics. You can find out the harmonics from a fundamental. This is going to be hugely important to you because you've got a fundamental frequency, and then it can show you all the harmonics coming off of it. Normally the first few harmonics like these are going to be of the most importance. After that, they're not quite as important, except for major or minor fluctuations that you'll have to deal with equalization or sound sculpting. And it'll even map them out for you. You can even understand here is the first harmonic, the second harmonic, third harmonic is the fifth above the octave. These are odd harmonics, and these are even on harmonics, to get really used to this so you know what you're looking at. So you can map out a sound wave, any sound wave, and when you find the cycle, or you have a test capture like we talked about, you know, that, you know, we've talked about having one of those, or what, we'll get into that a little bit more in the next couple coming videos. But to be able to map those out well, that way that you can go in and you can map out a vocal. Like this is a standard vocal. You know, I've captured a vocal note of me going ah, and you do this with a bass note, boom, and a guitar note, boom, and a piano note, boom, and whatever else instruments that you're normally working with a lot. And you can do all of them if you want, and your percussion things, your bass drum, your kick drum, your snare drum, your hi-hats, your crash cymbals. So you can have all them mapped out well, of good captures, of good sounding captures. Does that make sense? So you can map them out. Sometimes it's a little hard with percussion because it just looks like a mess, because it's not musical. It's more non-musical sound. So it's kind of a problem, because, but you understanding a good envelope for any given, you know, percussive instrument you're dealing with can really help you find problems. You really got a really good kick drum, bass drum that you've really worked on well, and then you've taken some snapshot of it with your oscilloscope and with your spectrogram. So you got some really good stuff to look at in case you ever have issues going, what the heck's going on with that tom? And you compare it, And that's not always going to be, we know from doing mixing from the last Master Series that sometimes you might have to re-equalize it to make it sound good in the mix, but at least you got a good starting point from looking at this stuff. And mapping these out in the spectrogram is going to be hugely important for you, because when you map things out like this, you are going to know where the root is, the harmonics that are coming off of it, so you can find what is the content of that sound envelope and get familiar with it and be able to find when there's problems. That way, if there's another harmonic in here that's harmonic distortion, you can spot it. There's another harmonic right here for some reason, way up here. Oop, that's a problem. That's not normal because I've pulled out my map and that shouldn't be there. For some reason it is. Does it sound bad or does it sound good? Dang, it sounds really good on Waylon Jennings going, yeah, in my country dog. But it might not sound on Bob's R&B record. It might not, it might. Or Cindy Lauper, I don't know. So, but you'll be able to analyze it and be able to see the harmonic content, even in odd harmonics. Look for harmonic distortion, harmonics that shouldn't be in there. Look for problems in the upper end. Like, let's say this right down here is boosted way high for some reason, or this over here is way low for some reason it shouldn't be. And be able to visualize it and know what you're looking at. Does that make sense? And this is mapped out. I just took pictures in a spectrogram that gave a gray background, and then I did this with my computer with just my picture editor, and wrote it out in different colors, even in odd harmonics, intervals, what was going on with it. And this is another reason why I tell you there's a basic music theory series on my channel. Watch the whole thing. The more familiar you are with that, the more sense, a flat seventh harmonic is going to make to you in comparison to what you're dealing with audio engineering. And the better you understand music theory, the better you'll understand a lot of things happening in audio engineering. It's so funny that they're so really closely related. Surprise, surprise. So really, I want you to do that also, because it's part of you becoming that next level audio engineer, having a really good understanding of basic music theory and the basic fundamental things that are happening in music, because it's very directly related to this. And if you take like a triad also, like a piano triad, and figure out those root notes and the harmonics coming off of them, you'll be amazed at how rich the harmonic content of just that triad is. It's amazing what all is going on there, so that when you're looking at, this piano chord and thinking, well, I don't know, what is that, bro? Then you'll know you've got the root of, you got playing an A, the root, in the third and the fifth or whatever, on whatever chord that is of that triad, and you'll be able to pick it apart and be able to know what you're looking at. So you can be that much more of a better informed audio engineer. And as you do this, you are going to be surprised how much better you're going to be able to pick apart the sound. And you'll know anytime you pick out an analysis tool or you pick out a processing tool and you're looking at what it's doing to any sound envelope, say the vocal here or whatever, that you'll know what you're looking at. And you'll have an idea what you're looking at. And you'll know how to map it out. And you'll know when you have problems. And there might be some in there. Harmonic distortion, a harmonic that's not supposed to be there. The kick drum or the snare or the crash cymbal is like way out of whack and looks way funky, compared to what it normally looks like for some reason. You go map out square waves, it's got the fundamental root and then odd harmonics all the way down the line, down to whole steps and then half steps and then whole steps and then half steps to quarter steps and on and so forth. So you can see what's happening with that. Triangle waves are very closely related with odd harmonics at different levels than a square wave. And, like ramp wave, and sawtooth wave, it's even and odd harmonics right down the line. And you'll be able to see that going on in your waveforms by mapping it out really well. And you'll be able to map out noise. Here's blue noise, here's brown noise, here's gray noise, pink noise, violet noise, white noise, so that you can go through there, and when you're seeing different noises, and you're seeing it going up here, you've got some kind of brown noise because it's going way up here, or it's violet noise because it's going, or blue noise or something, it's going way up down here, and you're being able to spot it. Or if it's really loud, going across and what shape is it, to try to help you understand what you're looking at, where it might have been coming from, if it's coming from the system or it got captured in it, how to deal with it. It can help you can visualize it. You know you're looking at noise. You're just not looking at some gunk, what is all that stuff. You're looking at harmonics, you're looking at possible harmonic distortion, you're looking for possible noise, you're looking for frequency modulation and volume modulation. Frequency modulation, all of a sudden this one looks really wide because it's wobbling back and forth because you got a bunch of frequency modulation going on. And to look for volume modulation. You can see volume modulation going on. You know that, so you don't really need to map either one of those out. Just be aware that they're there when you're looking at things that you understand. And when it gets way out of whack, that you can take some pictures of some volume modulation and frequency modulation to understand what tolerances are. Like, volume modulation like this is okay, like that it's not. Frequency modulation like that is okay. Frequency modulation like that is not good. Then you can get an understanding when it might be a problem and causing an issue and where to go look to fix it. So that sounds funny, but I'm telling you that if you map these out, and you can message me, and if you have some problems, it's going to take some time, because it's just mapping it out is going to take a little bit of time. You map it out well so that you've got some good references. And it's like, this is just a normal vocal, and I've got it mapped out, and I've taken another one, I've taken this as a palette, and I've EQ'd one, I've processed one to where it's radio ready, like a male choir person. Ah! And I've mapped that out so well, so where anytime I start fussing with that stuff, that I can pull it out and go, what's going on with that? Or a female choir person, it's nah, and it's like, I've got it mapped out to where I know what it should look like, that sound outlet, the harmonics that should be in it, what would be harmonic distortion, what would be too much noise, how the envelope towards the tail end is shaped, if it's a problem, or if there's issues that isn't normally there. So I'm not just looking at stuff I can't even understand. It's like, I don't even know what that is, bro. How am I supposed to know if that's right or not? I'm just going to trust my ears. People will throw all their tools away and start just trying to trust their ears and not reference what they're doing and understand what they're looking at. So you go, no, bro, I know that this harmonic right here is a problem. It is a problem. It's way too high, and I'm going to go in there with automation, and I'm going to attenuate it. And as that vocal moves around, I'm going to volume automation, attenuate that harmonic, so that guy's vocal sounds great. So instead he's going to sing R&B and go, baby, 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 but he sounds like Donald Duck, going, baby, baby, baby. He's got a couple harmonics that he's got some issues with, that, he wasn't singing well, or there's one phrase in a song that he did, and he sounded like Donald Duck as an extreme example, and you just want to go in there and know it was this harmonic. You wouldn't sound like an idiot for that one note, the rest of it sounds good. I attenuate that, and I'm good to go, bro. But, does that make sense? Because I've compared it against the harmonic and the envelope of what else was going on in the song. But in that section, he's got a problem because up in this upper end, for some reason, he got this high-end content, or his root is low for some reason. I'm going to boost it up a little bit to make it sound more consonant with what else is going on. And for sound sculpting, you get used to analyzing that, and you're going to fuss around it, drop that fifth down. What does it do? What happens if I drop the fifth down of that guy's vocal? What does it do to how to make his transducer sound different if I just start fussing with just the fifth in his voice, or on that synth, or on the guitar, or on the bass, or whatever? I start fussing around in some area on the kick drum, or the snare, or whatever. This is going to help take you to that next level, because you are, by the time you get done mapping this stuff out and mapping out the stuff that you're normally working with, that you are going to be very much a lot better informed audio engineer and producer, so that when you're going along, that you know what you're looking at. And when you go, I don't know, it's it's a bell, how do I figure out what a bell is? Map it out. You know how to map it out because you mapped out vocals, you mapped out bass notes, you mapped out snare drums, kick drums, hi-hats, all kinds of things. You know what to do. You can go attack that bell. What's going on at the bell? Map it out. What is the problem? What's going on? Get a good bell sound, and then map it out against whatever bell might be happening that's got issues. So I know this, I'm trying to make it long-winded because my last video ran way short because I ran out of time. So I was trying to make it more concise because I could talk about this for hours. This is a huge thing that is going to take your production abilities and your audio engineering abilities to the next level. It's a lot of work, no doubt about it, but once you get a flow going and you start mapping out, that you'll get a little flow going and you'll start kind of rolling along, and you'll be so happy that you did. So I really hope that you get this done so that you can take your abilities to that next level. Peace, hope, love. I'll see you in the next video.